Hello, I'm Jeff McNeil, and this is my review of 20XX. In the year 20XX, a robot uprising has caused tremendous damage around the world, and it's your job as a mercenary or contractor in this game to fix the problem. And that's as far as the plot goes. Nothing else to say about it except that the cutscenes that play as you progress through the game made me smile. It's unfortunate that they only show once, and there doesn't seem to be any way to review them. It's not intrusive at all, and it's just a framing device to go out and blast some robots. Graphically, it's rock solid all around. Characters and enemies are all easily distinguishable, it runs smoothly, and has lovely little details like when you fire the charge attack, you brace it with your arm, and yeah, nice little details like the helmet gets kind of shot back the ears. It looks good. The camera is at just the right distance to give you the best view of the area around you without losing your place in it, even when things get pretty busy. One little issue I have is the screen shakes whenever you kill an enemy. It's nothing major on its own, but when you're plowing through a literal field of enemies, it becomes a problem that can cause you to take unnecessary damage. Sound effects are punchy, crisp, impactful, and everything you'd expect from a game like this. The music is in a league of its own. It's amazing. From beginning to end, this is an incredible soundtrack. Nothing is intrusive and everything is rocking hard. It can best be described as a blend of the classic 8-bit Mega Man and the X series. It is well worth listening to. Gameplay is Mega Man X combined with a roguelike, and it works incredibly well. Nina is the long-range fighter who I prefer playing as her with a charge shot, and Ace is the close-range fighter with the sword. He's the equivalent of Zero, so she's X, he's Zero. Both have access to a dash, which is on the right one button, which is actually a lot easier to deal with than the circle button, as it makes doing wall jumps like that a lot easier. But can pick up a huge variety of different passive and active abilities during each run, like these. These are change how your basic shot works. I still got my charge. This is an armor piece that gives different bonuses. The goal is ultimately simple. As your chosen character, you run, gun, and slash your way to the end of the stage and fight the boss, before heading to the next stage and repeating the process. And you want to collect as many power-ups as you can along the way. Each stage is semi-randomized. Each stage is semi-randomized, so even if you've done a level before, the next time you run it, the placement and difficulty of the stage will be different. From standard stat boosters to core pieces that enhance a specific part of your character, those are the armor pieces, there is a truly massive number of items, attacks, and skills you can find. But like all roguelikes, you only have one chance. Die and everything is gone. But dying in and of itself is not the end, as you can retain your soul chips upon death, which are acquired by beating bosses and certain elite enemies. These can be used to buy permanent upgrades that you carry with you forever, or to unlock new items that can appear in subsequent runs. Or even purchase a few upgrades to start yourself off on the right foot. One major complaint I have about the gameplay is that it's only semi-randomized. The game has a finite number of stages and bosses, and you will run into each and every one of them during any single run. Whether difficulty will change depending on which order you enter them. Like, for example, this stage, if I happen to have encountered this stage as the final stage, it would be infinitely harder than it is right now. The platforming would be tougher, there'd be far more enemies. You're still going through the same stages to fight the same bosses. I sincerely wish there had been more levels or bosses, and you only ended up encountering half or maybe a third of them during any single run. This can cause a sense of repetition rather early on, as the number of regular enemies you encounter are also quite limited. 20XX is an amazing roguelike platformer, with great visuals, an amazing soundtrack, and addictive gameplay. I just wish there was more of it, and if that's the biggest complaint I can muster, they must have done something right. This has been Jeff McNeil, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.